Law school life is challenging and stressful. Good thing you're not alone. Hi everyone, welcome back to this podcast, and I'm your host, Tina. I am the founder and content creator behind Totally Legal, and I'm here to help future lawyers like you and myself prepare for and navigate their law school journey ahead. Truly, law school life can change a person in just a flicker of an eye. In law school, everyone's constrained to step up their game to keep up with the rigors of studying the law. I think this is somehow similar in all countries and jurisdictions. I pretty much believe that this is what every law student all over the world experiences. Consequently, law students commit errors that may lead to destroying their relations with others and even to themselves in the process. And honestly, I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I welcome you to another episode, and I am going to discuss or to share with you some of the things that I believe every law student is better off without. And if only had a time machine, I'd definitely use one to correct some of these mishaps. I'd definitely go back to my old self and tell her, Tina, wag mong gawin yan. Don't ever do those things because it will ruin at some point your momentum. It will ruin your law school life in the long run. And I'm just thankful that I realized them early on in my law school journey. And so I thought I'd share them with you para hindi nyo naman siya din maranasan na, or kung nararanasan nyo siya ngayon, maitigil nyo. It's not yet too late. So the first one that I think you should stop doing now in law school is doubting yourself, because it ruins your law school life and self-esteem. Now, if there's anything I learned in law school, it is that we are our own worst critics. Do you believe that? While there will always be people who will doubt our capabilities, it is ourselves that assault our self-esteem in the forefront. If you are doubting whether or not you really are fit to continue your law school journey, let me tell you this. You qualified to enter law school because you have the skill set and drive to become a lawyer. I don't know about other people, but for me, that's more than enough for you to get the ball rolling. So doubts should end here. You destroy them right off the bat. You don't breed them. Next one, it's being hard on yourself. Good things come to those who hustle, they say. Yes, I agree. However, that doesn't mean you'll have to work yourself to death throughout your law school life. How can you reap and enjoy the fruits of your labor if you've been withered in the process, right? So as early as now, it's about time to take things more easily and slowly. You can start by celebrating your small wins. Treat yourself with a box of pizza or a pan of sushi bake after a good recitation or exam score. I-celebrate mo yung mga oras na parang feeling mo wala ka nang maisagot pero pak na pak pa rin yung sagot mo kay prof, diba? Celebrate the fact that you weren't cold-called at the time when you're least prepared for it. Yung tipong hindi ka talaga umabot dun sa binasa mo pero gosh, hindi ka rin natawag, diba? Those are small wins. Yes, you have to be serious with your law studies. No question about that. However, in my opinion, it won't hurt to loosen up once in a while. Another one is worrying so much. Don't you know that worrying so much can take a toll on your health? Worrying happens when you become too concerned and preoccupied about an event or situation. And as you do this often, you'll negatively affect your law school life, lifestyle, appetite, relationships, and even your mental health. In order to do away with this, you may want to find ways to calm yourself in whatever situation that triggers your anxiety. Let's say if talking in front of your classmates during recitations is your trigger, Try to calm yourself with the fact that only your professor is actually listening to you. And believe me, your classmates don't listen to even half of what you say. Well, I'm not saying laging ganon, no, but most of the time, they're busy finishing their backlogs in silence. Also, you may try getting your own stress ball, or do breathing exercises, or listen to uplifting music whenever you feel worried about something. However, if you feel like your worries are crippling you or preventing you from doing your daily activities, don't ever hesitate to go to a medical professional to have your overall health checked. Next would be comparing yourself with others. Now, stop feeling bad because your seatmate talks great during recitations while you think you're not. Or refrain from hating the fact that you have to work your ass off to send yourself to law school while some of your classmates' affluent parents support them financially. Just stop. We have our own skills, talents, and circumstances, and these make each of us unique in our own way. Instead of picking on these differences, you should celebrate them as things that set you apart from the rest. Embrace your uniqueness. Now, if there's something you want to improve on, just work harder and smarter to develop yourself. Don't compare yourself with others. Look up to them, yes, but never make destructive comparisons. Another thing that you have to stop doing today in law school is feeling guilty of getting enough sleep or adequate rest. I had this professor who used to tell us that sleep is a waste of time. And for almost a year, for the most part of my first year in law school, I clung to this law school mantra. Unfortunately, my physical and mental health suffered. Like, I had to be hospitalized in order to realize that I should have taken that professor's tip with a grain of salt. Ironically, sleep and rest are very important in our law school life. Actually, adequate rest and sleep help our brain process and consolidate new information and learnings. Yes, yung mga binabasa natin, mas naiintindihan, mas kumakapit yun sa atin pag nakakatulog tayo, nakakabawi tayo ng tulog. When we are well rested, it will be easier for our brain or our mind to be receptive to new knowledge. Then, we get to remember new information better after getting sufficient sleep. Therefore, sleep if you must. Just don't oversleep naman, okay? Anyway, no one gets good grades by sleep deprivation or large eye bags. So might as well just get adequate sleep as much as you can. Another thing that you have to stop doing today in law school, ako guilty as charged ako dito. Kahit minsan hanggang ngayon, pero siguro masasabi ko lang mas okay yung response ko as compared before. You're very familiar with this? Procrastinating. You're procrastinating if you keep on putting off doing things at a later time when you could have done them right away. Remember the times when you chose to clean your room or check your emails first before reviewing for your constitutional law exam or preparing for your recitation? Diba? You get the picture? Ganun yon, procrastination. Procrastination isn't an issue of time management or willpower. It's actually something more serious and psychological than that. Experts say people procrastinate as a response to stress or bad hair day. When you're stressed, you tend to postpone doing your law school tasks as a form of distraction or adaptation, which is, by the way, unhealthy. Unfortunately, you'll become more stressed out naman once you see your to-dos pile up right before your eyes, right? Meanwhile, experts from Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada, proposes that procrastination is, above all else, a short-term emotion regulation problem. Accordingly, we use it as a way to immediately manage our negative emotions instead of doing our intended tasks right away. Now, there are several ways to overcome procrastination in our law school life. Marami niyan, marami mga vlogs niyan. I'm sure nanunood kayo. However, in resolving my issue with it, there's only one thing that I tried and ever since had done whenever I feel like procrastinating. And that is what I love calling the Nike principle. just do it. Totoo yun. Just freaking do it. I believe procrastination hampers us to start on something. Dun tayo natatrap yung to begin on doing something. So if we can overcome that phase, we can actually move on and finish any task no matter what. Next is cramming throughout your law school life. Now, alam naman natin ang cramming, pero just to give emphasis on what cramming means, sabi ni Merriam-Webster, cramming is to prepare hastily for an examination. So yes, we have those moments when we literally thrust ourselves to finish our 200 case digest assignments, assigned readings, or backlogs before an exam or a recitation. But you might say, Tina, cramming works wonders for me. I get to focus on studying whenever I cram. No, you don't. Cramming doesn't and will never help you in long-term retention of learnings. Yes, you might be able to absorb the doctrine in a case you're reading to pass a quiz or midterm exam. However, chances are you won't be able to recall it by heart when the time comes that you'll have to review for or take the bar exam. One thing that worked for me though is to schedule my studies and case digests ahead of time. This way, I don't have to do everything in one sitting. Plus, it had given me more time to prepare for my other classes, recitations, and exams without sacrificing learning and long-term retention. Remember, it's better to have your to-dos dispersed throughout the week and do small tasks every day than putting them off at a later date and doing everything in one sitting. Now, if you're having trouble with cramming, especially with your case digests, meron akong case digest checklist na dinevelop. Just for you, you can check out that list or checklist on www.totallylegal.com. It's in my shop. And I also made an article about case digest and how to do it effectively. It's also found in my website. Bahala na kayo, halongkatin nyo. My website has a search bar so you can just search the right keywords there. Alright? Makakatulong yan sa inyo. Now, another one that you have to stop doing today is prioritizing your law school life even more than your health and wellness. Yes, we have to be serious in our law school life. Wala namang question dun. However, it shouldn't be to the point of destroying your mind and body. As they say, health is wealth. Everything that we've worked hard for will only go down the drain if we get sick or crippled because of allowing ourselves to succumb to law school stress. Hence, despite being the busy bee that you are, never forget your regular trips to your physician, dentist, or even your psychologist if you have one. Also, make sure you nourish your body and soul by eating a healthy diet, being physically active, and finding time for leisure or passion projects. Parang ako, passion project ko to, yung gawa-gawa ng podcast, sharing tips and tricks for law school sa website ko. Indeed, we all want to become lawyers in the near future, so we have to be able-bodied when that time comes. Oh, ito, another one. Spending too much time on social media. As we lean towards remote and online learning these days, it is unsurprising to have everything accessible over the internet. School announcements, our professors' assignments, and course materials. However, we should leave things at that. We can always unwind by checking our social media handles or playing online games. However, always remember that everything should be done in moderation. So what are you waiting for? Stop stalking that seatmate of yours on Instagram and get back to reading now. Or better, kontakin mo na talaga para makapag-usap kayo. Hindi puro stalk, di ba? Or, just continue listening to this podcast, right? Just decrease your social media consumption. Hindi naman siya masama eh. Wag lang sobra. Unhealthily competing with your law school classmates. If you'll ask me, competition becomes detrimental or go out of hand when class relations and order are negatively affected. Wala namang masama kung may healthy competition sa classroom or sa mga classmates mo. Ang problema, pag yung OA na, pag yung sobra na. It's okay to compete for something in law school once in a while. In fact, in the course of our law school life, you may already have joined sports fests or sa school namin may law school pageants. We used to have this in our university. And other contests. But to compete with their classmates to the point of destroying their class standing or school reputation is just scornful. Please, let us not allow law school stress to take the humanity and decency out of us. Remember that. Next is being arrogant and thinking too highly of yourself. As a law student, it's okay to be proud. Kahit sino naman, 'di ba, who wouldn't hold his head up high after surviving grueling law school exams, high-level stress, and terror professors. However, we shouldn't let this pride go out of hand and transform itself to conceit. That said, you better take things easy from now on. If you used to butt in a conversation and tell everyone you're a law student who learns the law and you know better, well, just stop. From here on, please remind yourself of the fact that no one has the monopoly of knowledge. While most lawyers are glorified for knowing the law and speaking eloquently, actually, hindi naman nila lahat alam. They don't know everything. They don't know how to heal and take care of the sick and wounded. Neither do they know how to build infrastructures nor defend the country from terrorists. So as law students, stop thinking and believing that we're going to be Supermen and Wonder Women someday. We will never be. We should always keep our humility in check. Remember, we should be studying hard and smart in law school to be part of the due and efficient administration of justice someday. Not to show off, not to degrade others or something. Now, another one, we have dodging love. Yung umiiwas dyan magka-love life. Some say that the only way to survive your law school life is to be single all throughout of it. Well, my friends, I beg to disagree. While it could be a little challenging at first to juggle love life and law school, it is not impossible. Just make sure, of course, that you're dating someone who pretty much understands the rigors and demands and toxicities of being a law student. You still don't believe, do you? Well, I suggest you check out the article my fiance wrote about our love and journey. It's again in the website. You can just log on or you can just search dating a law student or something. Nagpa-pop out naman siya sa Google. Pero itong fiancé ko na to, nakilala ko siya, second year ako ng law school, na toxic ako. I was then taking up a new responsibility at a new job. Ito yung year na nagsistart ka na magkaroon ng mga remedial law subjects na sobrang toxic ako kasi mahina ako talaga sa rem law. So I really had a lot of adjustment to do back then. Pero nakaya naman until now. 5 years and counting, kami pa rin naman, 'di ba? So, the lesson here, if you have someone special that you'd like to spend more time with as a significant other, do not hold yourself back. Who knows, 'di ba? He or she might be your forever. Just give it a chance. And finally, we've reached the last one in our list. Not living your personal and law school life to the fullest. Law students fail to realize that their law school life is but a little fraction of their being, and all of that's yet to come. We should always remember that our lives neither starts nor ends in law school. If at all, it's just part of the challenging yet fulfilling journey we chose to partake. So despite being busy with your law studies, don't forget other aspects of your life. Well, there will be some that might be compromised, especially if you're a working law student, but it doesn't mean that you will have to neglect them entirely or altogether. So, why not start that passion project of yours? Something that you've always wanted to do, or find a new hobby, or say spend more time with your family and friends without, breaching health protocols, of course, these days. Amidst all our backlog readings, why not allot a day or two for a romantic alfresco dinner date with your significant other, di ba? Or hibernate and sleep. Ako, ginagawa ko yon. Favorite kong matulog na matulog. The possibilities are endless in living your life to the fullest. Hindi lahat nagtatapos or hindi lahat dinedetermine ng law school. So there you have it. 13 things that you're better off without, that you have to stop doing today if you're a law student. So I hope I was able to help you somehow as I shared these things that I've experienced myself in the previous years. And if you find this episode useful, please consider sharing them with your classmates or other law school friends. And if you want more law school tips, hacks, inspiration, or resources, feel free to log on to www.totallylegal.com. Totally is spelled out as Totally. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Pinterest, and YouTube. And of course, here on Spotify. Alright? So, I hope you have a good and productive week ahead. Good luck on all your recitations and exam. And I'll talk to you soon.